basil, and then I have, that's Thai basil, the furthest one. I have like normal basil, Italian basil that I'll use for pesto. That's gonna go, I have a few of them, but I'm gonna put 2 in between. And then that's parsley. And then I'm gonna just do some more wildflowers here. Rosemary, lavender, sage, and oregano. Huh. As a beginner gardener, it's easy to want to just like do everything from seed, grow every herb under the sun, all these things. But like, one, it's okay to buy some from a nursery and like pick and choose what you're gonna start from seed, and like maybe some that you just get at Home Depot or whatnot. But also, within reason, not that I believe in being realistic, start somewhat small. Not that I would say we are doing that, but we could have gone a lot bigger. But maybe tomorrow morning I'll do the weeding and the rest of like the lettuce and carrot row to be ready so that I could do it really fast. Some people do the stakes, but then they might, let's say they split this row in half, and they'll do like just a easy, simple frame. Or to your point, you'll have 2 2x4s and just like drill a hole on each side and put like a pipe, almost like a shower rod. Yeah. And then you could do twine down onto the top so that they could stay straight up to that thing. Yeah. I don't think we're gonna have to do that this year. We might not ever have to do that.
That'd be better. I'm sad for the beef stew, it smells good.
I know, I have to go in and make some noodles. No, you can't. No. Babe, no, you really can't.
It's part of everything that comes out of there is you allow me to do some things that maybe typically wouldn't want me to do.
But you don't know how to make the noodles. Or like period.
I made a noodle the other day.
Dude, but it's not those types of, like, I'm making homemade egg noodles.
I did not know how to do that.
That's what I'm saying. Mama knows best. It's another beautiful evening in the garden, and today what I want to get done is to plant my last little round of lettuce and carrots in their rows. I have a little bit of weeding to do before I can get into the planting part, the fun part. And then once that is done, I have some flowers that I also want to plant. And then I don't know where I'll go from there. I try and spend as much time as I can in here weeding, just checking on all of the crops and making sure that they're doing well. And really, we're doing well so far, and I'm just excited to be learning everything that I'm learning on how to grow our own food. I'm excited to continue to take care of all this food, to continue to plan it out. And yeah, at some point, God willing, I hope that we're harvesting an abundance of vegetables that not only will we get to eat and will I get to learn how to preserve, but we'll also get to provide to our community, provide to our family, to our friends, because that really is like the ultimate goal for me. So with planting lettuce, I'm doing a bit of chaos gardening. I had tried planting lettuce, just direct sowing it 2 ways, and one way worked a lot better, and that was the chaos gardening. And so the first way that I had tried, which I didn't feel like was as successful, was truly, you know, having a little bit of a hole, making sure that the seeds were about probably 1/4 of an inch deep, and then covering them with a little bit of soil and giving them a lot of water. I did not see a lot of germination with those seeds, and we have done soil tests and we have really done a good job to amend the soil, so we know that the soil is not the issue. And so I did some research and the lettuce seeds really like light to germinate, and so I had seen a few methods where people really just scatter the seeds on top of the soil and lightly press them in, and then making sure that they're giving them a lot of water. And the seeds in that method, the chaos gardening method, they, receive the light that they need, the water that they need, the soil is good, and so I've seen such good germination with those, and so that's a method that I'm going to continue with the lettuce. As for planting carrots, I will say carrots for us, we're in Georgia, zone 8A, West Georgia. It's a bit of an experiment this season. We've never really grown anything except for herbs, and so we've obviously never grown carrots. And I know carrots in this hard clay compact soil is kind of a long shot. Carrots really like a loomy, almost sandy, loose soil so that they can do their root veggie thing and grow to be beautiful carrots. And while we have done a good amount of work to add compost to our soil to loosen it up, and prior to planting I use this little, what really is a weeding tool, but it really helps loosen up the soil. That tool does ensure that the soil is loose in that moment. However, I feel like once they're planted, I feel like once they're planted and it rains once or twice and I water them in, it's still Georgia clay and it's hard, the soil. So I feel like it might be a little compact for us to grow carrots in ground, but honestly, we're trying anyway. I'm gonna try and add more to the row today. I have seen pretty good germination with the carrots. I keep them very, very moist, and we're obviously in a really sunny location. I just don't know in the long run, when it's hopefully harvest time, if we're gonna be getting winky dinky carrots or a nice foot long. So we'll just have to wait and see. Like I said, it's very much an experiment, because if it works, great. I'll do it again next year. If it doesn't work, then I know that when the fall planting comes for carrots, I'm going to do them in a container and not even bother trying in the ground. Okay, super last minute, but the sun's still up and I want to plant some cucumbers. And so I'm planting them in this large container that I have filled with an organic container mix, a little bit of compost, and then honestly we have so much topsoil, so I've placed a little bit. I'm planting these about half an inch deep, just forming a little hole with my finger, and then I'll put 3 in there just cause. And I'll cover them up. And I'm only gonna do 3 groups just because it's not that big of a container, and we are going to grow these vertically in this container, so eventually we'll have to add some sort of ladder cage for these babies to climb. I decided super last minute, as in 2 days ago, that I wanted to grow cucumbers, and I don't know why I didn't have that on my original list. And trying to figure out how to grow viney vegetables in the in-ground garden without them completely taking over. You know, it took some research, but really we're gonna go up instead of around. They'll be planted in the ground, but we're going to guide them into growing up instead of out. So yeah, I'm just gonna water everything in and I'm gonna call it a night. Arnold Palmer on the porch on a hot day is an indescribable feeling. It's just too good. Okay, we are potting up my last tray of seedlings that we had indoors upstairs with grow lights, the fan, and everything. I feel like I should have done this a really, really long time ago. And every single time I would go upstairs to turn on or off the lights, I just was like, I really need to pot these up, and I procrastinated. But now it is time. All we have here are green bell peppers, sweet basil, and a little bit of cilantro. I don't have a ton of faith in my cilantro, to be honest. It grows really well, and what I have started indoors looks fantastic, but I didn't know that cilantro doesn't always transplant the best, and so I don't know, just based on kind of the way it flops around, I think cilantro is something that I'll definitely be direct sowing in the future. The basil looks great. The green bell pepper, I'm only gonna do these two. I'm only gonna do 2 of them. I just want to remind myself and anyone that's watching this video that gardening requires so much patience, and it's not just to harvest something. I feel like that's obvious. I thought for 4 weeks that I must have messed up the basil, and I thought until literally 2 or 3 weeks ago that the green bell peppers were just a bust, because the green bell pepper just straight up I felt like took 6 weeks to germinate, maybe even more. It felt like 2 months. And the basil I felt like germinated to where I could see it, and it was just stuck there for probably a whole entire month before I felt like it was finally like growing a little bit taller at least. I just kept turning on the lights, I kept watering them when the tray was dry, and now they're here. They smell so good. And so just stay patient and don't scrap something if you don't think it worked. Like, really wait it out and see, because it probably is working. It's just taking some time for you to see that it's working. And I only say that because there were several occasions where I was just like, okay, I'm just gonna empty this tray and start over. And I'm really glad that I didn't, because I just needed to be patient. Alright y'all, let's wrap up this video with a little garden tour and a garden update. I just want to say, we have a lot of weeding to do. We know, okay? Where things are growing, we're weeded. Where things are not growing, it's not anything we planted. Those are weeds. So, just want to preface that we know that. So what we have going so far is we have our onions. We have 50 sweet onions, 50 red onions, which are beginning to bulb and grow a little bit bigger, which is exciting. To take care of those, we planted them as sets, water them 3-4 times a week, and fertilize them every other week. And hopefully in the next month, their tops die, flop over, and we'll pull them. This row down there is a bunch of different types of lettuce that is ready to be consumed. Some of it we're gonna cut and come again. Some of it I'm just gonna pull from the root because I did a little chaos gardening there and it's a little bit chaotic. Here we have just a mix of flowers, and then finishing down this skinny row we have a variety of different types of carrots. We got our cabbage here. We lost some along the way. We've been spraying everything, especially the cabbage, with a neem oil homemade pesticide, which is just a quart of water, a tablespoon of neem oil, and 2 teaspoons of castor soap. So I think that definitely helped because we had some holes. I haven't seen any slugs or worms on the cabbage, but I definitely feel like we had some ant issues that we have since eradicated, which is good. Finishing down the cabbage row, we have a whole other mix of flowers that are looking good. And then over here, we have our potatoes that we started from seed. Once they started to grow a lot taller, we mounded the soil at the base so that none of the potatoes were getting hit with sunlight. And these, again, in about a month or so, should be ready to be harvested. The only thing I'm looking at now and realizing is that some of these potato plants are starting to grow flowers, which is a good sign because they're gonna hopefully die off soon and then we'll harvest. But what I need to go do is pull all the flowers off and give them a good fertilizer, because we've been fertilizing these similar to the onions every other week. And pulling off the flowers just reminds the plant to keep focused on growing the potatoes and not on these little flowers. This is where we get a little chaotic, and that's okay. We have oregano, sage, rosemary. We have lavender here. Had rosemary, but Doug killed it. Babe, that was a joke. Doug didn't kill it. I killed it. I think I just watered it too much. We have more flowers here. And then we have parsley. We have Thai basil. We have cucumbers here in this pot, which we're going to grow vertically. The cucumbers, I just did slicing cucumbers. It was a very last minute addition. The leaves are looking quite yellow. I don't think that's a good thing, but maybe they need some nitrogen. I don't know. We have a Thai pepper plant here in a pot. We have our raised little bed of spearmint and peppermint, because mint is extremely invasive, and if it was in ground it'd grow everywhere. And then in the back corner we have some type of tomato plant that I cannot remember. And then finally what we have planted is our back row here is all tomatoes, different types of tomatoes, Roma tomatoes, heirloom tomatoes, cherry tomatoes. And then we also have all of our pepper plants, which again, I'm seeing some flowers. Look here, babe. We got a little baby guy coming. I'm gonna pluck this flower because focus on that. Again, I didn't mark any of these pepper plants. I know that this one is cute. This one is shishitos, actually. And you could see all the little shishitos are gonna start coming in soon. Super exciting. And so finally, what is left to do to kind of round out this garden is, like I said, these walkways, this area where more will be planted needs to be weeded. We're well aware. We have tomato plants that we need to stake, which I'll keep y'all updated on how we're doing that. And then in this area, we're gonna grow vertically. I'd love to grow some summer squash and some cantaloupe. We have some more area over there for maybe some more cucumbers, like pickling cucumbers we can do. And I have a few more things that I started indoors that need to get transplanted out here, like some herbs, basil, cilantro, which might not last in the transplant shock, and probably throw in some more flowers here and there. And I have a few more peppers. So that's kind of where we're at, and we'll keep y'all updated, and hopefully I'll show y'all some fun recipes you can make with everything that we're growing here soon. So thanks for watching this week's video and getting a little update on our first garden as beginner gardeners. We're in West Georgia, Zone 8A, and we'll keep y'all updated on how we're maintaining this and how it's growing throughout the seasons. Bye! You can edit now.